What's going on, guys? It's Jelly here with yet another video, but today's is actually going to be quite different from what I've done in the past. You'll notice the length of the video, and I'm sure that's probably what you guys clicked on, but this video is actually going to be combining a lot of my old Season 1 videos into one major video. That way, multiple people, when they're coming through and looking for Season 1 guys, they don't have to click through one video at a time, one video at a time, one video at a time, and they can just watch one full long video. You guys are obviously more than welcome to enjoy this, but if you already know anything, I don't blame you for leaving. But yeah, pretty much without further ado, I hope you guys enjoy this mini movie that I put together. Thank you.
Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Jelly from Lastwar here with yet another YouTube video, and I just want to start by saying I'm so sorry that I took so long. I had a really bad cold that ended up turning into bronchitis, and I lost my voice for about a week, and I'm finally recovering. I'm still not fully there. Just deal with me, and I'm so sorry about that. But thank you guys all so much for smashing 1,000 subscribers. We're at over 1,300 now, and you guys have just been killing it. I sincerely appreciate each and every single one of you, so thank you all so much. Without further ado, let's jump into today's video, actually. What we're going to be talking about, as you guys saw in the titles, how you can prep better for Season 1. Now, a quick overview of what Season 1 is. So Season 1 is actually this new changing of the game. So if you haven't made it to Season 1 or you have not experienced Season 1 yet, think of it like this. Everything that you've seen of the game up until this point is going to change. The map is going to change, whether it's this type of look, it's going to change. The Doomwalkers are going to change. Literally every little thing about the game is going to change. And if you come back into your base and you find this little obelisk with whatever this is, I think it's called an obelisk, and you click on that book, it's going to tell you when Season 1 is. So right here, day 01, Season 1, it should be connected to your last day right here, so day 120. As you can see, I'm on day 119, which means that I should be receiving Season 1 here relatively soon. Now, the interesting thing about this is once you get to day 120, you're not going to jump straight into Season 1. You're going to jump into what we call the preloading phase. It's about a 2-week process, give or take, some more, some less, between with the actual start of Season 1 and the end of Season 0. You either call this what we're in preseason or Season 0, depending on who you talk to. Now, I'm not going to say too much more about Season 1 because I will have videos coming out based on Season 1, guides, walkthroughs, stuff like that, once it actually hits my server, because I don't want to have a walkthrough without actually being able to show you guys firsthand what those things are. So instead, we're going to talk about the things that you should be doing heading into Season 1 or getting close to Season 1. And right off the rip, let's talk about kind of a hot topic that I talk about quite often with people. I also want to give a huge shout out to everybody that was in the Discord call last night, and it was a nice experience to be able to teach everybody. And if you guys are watching this video, I just want to say what's up. It was nice to be able to teach everybody about things that you can expect going into Season 1. But something that actually got mentioned is about your HQ. As you can see here, I'm obviously HQ 30, and I obviously have spent quite a bit of money to be at 120 million power, which I would be even more if I got my troops leveled up. But for the average player, or, you know, a spender, so if you spend, I don't even know, maybe you spend 50 bucks a week, you spend lunch money on this game, and you spend $50 a week every week consistently up until this point, you're gonna probably be close to HQ 30, if not there already. Kind of a question that people have been asking is, when should I get to HQ 30? Should I prioritize getting to HQ 30? Should I stop at HQ 27? Should I be this? Should I be that? Well, that's kind of what I'm here to tell you. I'm here to tell you, do what you think is best for you. I actually have a couple of members in my alliance. One is named Burrito. And Burrito, for example, is a level 27, and after learning about how much resources, time, and effort it takes to get to 30, he said, you know what, I'm not even going to try to push to 30. I'm just going to sit at 27 and be a super strong level 27 that can take on pretty much any level 30 that is kind of underleveled. Right, so there's different variations to this. An underleveled level 30 is not going to be as strong as an overleveled level 27. So you kind of need to settle your brain. You need to settle where your thinking is about what you think you are. Do you want to make that push to 30? If so, do it. That's completely fine. If you don't and you want to stay settled at 27, that's also perfectly fine. But now more than ever is your time to make that decision. Going into these final 3 or 4 weeks, you need to figure out if you're pushing to 30 or not, because it is going to be a complete game changer heading into Season 1 once we talk about certain things like professions. Professions is a new thing that the game adds, and I think that that would be a nice little thing that we can talk about later on. But here's my opinion on this. I think that you should push to HQ 30, but on one condition. If you have been following my tech guides from earlier on that I posted, you'll notice that I talk about special forces quite a bit. I personally think you should push to HQ 30 if you're going down through these special forces. Let's say that this bottom part of this tree is at, I don't even, 3 out of 10, 4 out of 10. Each of these is at 4 out of 10 right before this. I would say push to HQ 30. If you have barely even started special forces, or maybe you just got to morale, I would say it's time to kind of like lean back and focus on just being a super strong 27 and gradually upgrading as you go, instead of making a push, push, push. It doesn't necessarily make a difference whether you're 30 or 27. Just finding out where you are most comfortable or where you're going to make the most difference is all that matters. If you need individual helps, I would probably ask maybe a vet on your squad or somebody that knows, or if they're a high level or literally anything, I would probably ask somebody within your server. In my personal opinion, I've always believed this, right? And I give you guys these tips and tricks based on what the community has shared with me or what we have talked about. But my personal opinion is always going to be push to HQ 30, get to HQ 30, get to HQ 30, because once you're at HQ 30, you pretty much drop all those other resources into everything else surrounding. So if it were my personal opinion, my personal take, I would tell you to go to HQ 30. However, I don't think that there's anything wrong with being a super strong level 27. Now, I've spent enough time on that topic, and I'll kind of go over that in a different video, just trying to prioritize HQ, what's so important about that, especially when I start my new server in a little bit. But we'll move on to the next topic, which is if you're not already in a top 3, top 4, top 5 alliance even, I would tell you probably now is the best time to get involved in those alliances. Now, Season 1 offers so many rewards for being in an alliance, especially a top-ranked alliance. Now, there's these great things, and they're called Season Awards. I'm going to go over to my other account, and I'm going to show you guys kind of give you guys an idea of what they look like. I misspoke. I can't because it's currently in the off season, so I can't even show you guys the rewards. But there's this wonderful thing that comes up, and it's called the season rewards. Now, the season rewards are given out based on how your alliance ranks, the amount of influence points that they get, a lot of stuff that may sound like gibberish now, but I promise once the season comes around, it'll be a lot easier to understand, and I'll be able to actually show you guys firsthand what I'm talking about. Anyway, it doesn't necessarily matter what happens in Season 1. The whole point of me telling you, joining a top-ranked alliance is going to be a huge help for not only you, but the growth of the server as a whole. Now, typically, your stronger ranked alliances have great benefits to joining, right? Like alliance gifts levels. Mine is currently a level 22 gift level, and we are currently the #1 ranked alliance on the server with 5.4 billion power. Now, heading into Season 1, that kind of gives us an advantage over other alliances and other servers because it allows us to use our power or be able to conquer other people's lands. And that is kind of a main taking point in Season 1, is that not only taking land in your own server, but you're also taking land in other servers as well. Now, in order for you to be able to maintain lands in both servers, you need to be able to be aware at all times, have people on pretty much 24/7 to be on the lookout, and also be strong enough to repel other alliances that are going to potentially try to conquer your land back. That's just the first thing when we're talking about land, but as I already mentioned, the alliance gifts is a huge thing. The more that people are spending, or the more rallies that people are running, or the more everything that people are doing, the more active you're in an alliance, you're going to earn more rewards for practically doing nothing. And then obviously, we don't even have to get into the other perks of being in a top ranked alliance, such as higher level martial guards, better VS reward. I mean, as you can see here, we're kind of getting creamed, but this is like a super whale alliance that we're facing. I'm not in a whale alliance. We are a strong alliance, but we're not a whale alliance. There's just so many perks to being in a top ranked alliance, and Season 1 is really going to show you those perks and how beneficial they are. And not only that, but it's also going to show you how much it kind of sucks to be in an inactive alliance. If you're in that like 14-15 range where you're at in your alliance, this is definitely the time for you to move into a new alliance. Now, I'm not only saying that because I believe that. I'm saying that because it is better for your server if you have 10 or 12 active alliances versus 30 or 40 alliances with maybe 30 people in, and it's just not working out. So something that we, and by we, I mean I have been preaching to my server as server president, I have been making mails or telling other alliances to merge. You guys need to merge together, because if you're merging, the more active players you have, the better likelihood you guys are of being able to survive the season and actually having more fun. Because going into a season, if you're not like, let's say, we'll use Powa for example. Powa is a new alliance, and not new entirely, but they were two separate alliances that have merged into what they are now. And Powa's great. I love them. Shoe Dog's been fantastic to work with, and everything about that is fantastic. But before, they were two separate alliances, and they were ranked like 13th and 14th, or whatever the case may be. they were not going to earn the same rewards as they are now being in a top 10 alliance or number 9. That's just because the more active people you have and the stronger players you have, the better off you're going to be able to hold your alliance, which is the main thing. I'm going to repeat that a couple times throughout the video. Sorry, I am still a little bit sick, so my voice comes in and out. I'm a bit nasally and stuff like that. I got to get content out for you guys. Now, kind of piggybacking off that top ranked alliance thing, or being in even a top 10 alliance, I personally would say join a top 10 alliance. I recommend top 5, but if you can't get into the top 5, definitely go for top 10. That's just what I would say. But anyway, I'm getting off topic again. Piggybacking off of that, we're going to go into what your alliance should be doing, or what maybe you as an individual should be doing. You as an individual should be making allies with out of server alliances. Now, for example, here we are in Trev. If I go to our alliance announcement, I clicked our pin list. You'll see here, we have, this is our supported or our updated list of allies, official list of allies for everybody to see in the alliance. Now, what me and my leadership team and I do, and also even other individuals in the alliance, we make friends, and then we say, well, you know what, it'd be nice to establish a friendship with you guys going into the season or beyond. Now, as you can see here, obviously all of server 1789, you should always be allied with your own server. If your server can't get past any differences, or if they're struggling, if there's a civil war going on or stuff like that, I'm going to be quite frank with you guys. The server is just probably more than likely not going to survive the seasons, and once migration opens up and once cross server transfers open up, you're going to notice a lot of migration happening if that's the case. But regardless, this is where we're at right now. This is how many allies we have. We have quite a few allies. We have 8 total, 9 if you're including our own server. So that means that going into season 1, we're pretty much prepped and ready, and we have all these friends that are going to be there to help us if we call on them, or vice versa. And the positive thing to having friends like that is that means that we can work together to own land in their server, helping boost our score. We trade off. We say, hey, you know what? We have a level 3 in our server that's not being used. You guys want to come over and use it? So on and so forth. That's kind of how it works, right? So making friends is super important, not only for the safety and security of your own alliance, but also making sure that you can score more points in the season and capitalizing on the event, essentially, which the event is all of season 1. Make sure that you're capitalizing on everything related. Obviously, building a relationship with your own server is more important than building relationships out of server, and I'm going to preach that to people. Make sure that you're doing that. So the fourth point that I kind of have about what you should be doing going into season 1 is actually learning a little bit about what to expect, right? Now, obviously here in this little book, the little obelisk, it kind of shows you a little bit about what you can do or what's going to be coming up. Zombie Siege is going to be getting an update, maybe these exclusive weapons, black market at the end of season 1, a bunch of stuff. But really, the main thing that you can do to prep is go on the internet and look it up, find guides, whatever you want to do if you are not familiar, or find somebody that can teach you a little bit. Or in the future, you know, maybe like 30 days or so, when I have my season 1 guides out, it'll be easier to show you guys or explain using my videos then. But the important thing about being prepped and knowing what's going to be coming is that it allows you to pretty much plan your future. So I'll give one quick example. In season 1, there is this great thing called virus resistance. It's kind of what the whole season is built on. It's kind of like COVID, right? It literally looks like COVID. If you click on any of these guys, right, in season 1, there's going to be, these are going to look different firstly, but secondly, there's going to be this little like bacteria looking thing. It's going to be a purple little, I don't even know. It looks like, yeah, purple bacteria. It's what it looks like. It looks like a purple bacteria. I don't even know why I'm thinking about this so hard. So yeah, it's going to be like that. It's going to say, oh, you need 5 virus resistance. Now, when season 1 comes around, there's new buildings that come out, and they're going to be out here right out in front of your base. What they're going to do is they're going to build up your virus resistance. And not only those buildings are going to, but also your first capture rewards, your first kill rewards, stuff like that is going to allow you to grow your virus resistance. Understanding what virus resistance is going into season 1 is going to help a whole lot, because you may be able to, let's say right now, if I go find this level 30 Doom Elite, right? If I find this level 30 Doom Elite, I should be able to kill it relatively easy, no problem with my main squad. I don't lose any troops. But going into season 1, right off the rip, if I don't have any virus resistance, I'm not even gonna be able to kill a level 1 Doom Elite, let alone a level 30. Virus resistance is the main point in the whole entirety of season 1, and understanding that you need to build that up or be in an alliance with people who have it built up is super important. Obviously, other things like I've already mentioned about land, knowing that you need to not only come up with a land plan for your server, but also understanding that you're going to be conquering lands in other servers is important as well. There is a bunch of stuff, and even stuff I'm still learning on, because I have not gone through season 1 with the new weather features. Now, from what I hear, the new weather features aren't like game altering like season 2, but they are enough to make you have a difference, right? So just knowing what you're looking forward to or what you're going to be looking towards is kind of important. And what I'm going to do is in the description of this video, after everything, I'm going to post a link to a wonderful website that a friend of mine sent me to, and it should be a nice little guide for everybody to get kind of acquainted or have the basic information of season 1. Now, before we head on to this video, I just want to say I appreciate everything that every one of you guys has done for me. And I essentially wanted to say, I know that I talked about this in my last video over 2 weeks ago, but what I'm going to end up doing here is I'm going to be joining a new server. Now, I'm keeping this one. I'm prioritizing the server. This is going to be my main server. I'm still remaining R5. I'm still remaining president. 85% of my time will be spent over here. However, I do plan on joining a new server come New Year's time, and I will give you guys about an estimate. I think it's going to be probably server 20, like 40, 2050. As we get closer to that actual day of New Year's, I will make another video or another announcement on my channel, and I will tell you guys the exact thing that we're going to be doing, the exact server I'm going to be joining. If you guys are interested in joining that server along with me, that's fine. I have a couple of members or a couple of subscribers that have already said something about it, and I also have a member that I play the game with consistently, and I have for well over the past year together, and we're going to be joining that new server as well. I do plan on making a bunch of content about that new server, how I play the early game, how I can pretty much give you guys a weekly update about what my priority is, what I'm going to be spending money on, all that type of stuff. So I just wanted you guys to be aware of that. And I also do plan on starting to live stream a bit more, and I'm probably going to do some live Q&As for you guys to ask questions so I can answer whatever I can to help you guys out. Not only that, but it'll also show you what my pretty much day-to-day practice of being an R5 or even being a president is in the game. If you guys are interested in that, please comment below. Tell me that you're going to be joining the new server with me. I think it's going to probably be around server 2045 or 2050, 2045, 2050. It's going to be in that range somewhere. It's kind of hard to get an exact one because they fill up so randomly. It might even be like 2030. I actually have no idea. It'll be closer to that time that I figure it out. Also, another thing that you guys should be doing is dropping your video ideas below. Something that you may have questions on that I have not already answered in any of my past videos. Comment below what you guys want me to make YouTube content based on. I know a couple of things that I still have to get around to doing is my Desert Storm video. I still have to do that at some point. I've just been sick and I haven't been able to. Now I got to do a Warzone duel video, and I know I got to do like other events like that. And I promise I will get to those as soon as I actually have time. I do work a full-time job, so finding time to do this stuff is typically it's pretty difficult. So one more quick point about kind of realizing your server is not even just your server, but your allies as well, is that you need to understand just how important communication is, right? So in my season 1 or my 0 season, I have probably had thousands and thousands and thousands of DMs with people, and making these allies is so important that I have talked to all of these leaders probably a handful of times, at minimum a dozen, except for this Dome one, which we just became allies with a couple days ago. But it's super, super important that you communicate with your own server going into season 1 or your own top alliances, because you need to figure out a plan for your land. And this is kind of go into this next point that I'm going to be going on. So I'll probably combine the two. With the map changing in season 1, it's not going to look like how it does in the preseason, right? What it's going to look like going into that is going to be much, much different. There's a lot more land to worry about. There's a lot more like little nitpicky things that you got to be concerned with. Communicating with your server, not only in season 1, but also pre-season. So season 0, right now what we're in, and talking about this stuff before it happens is super, super important. Now, what I can say is that in my server, we haven't really, and we're definitely kind of falling behind on the shift, but we haven't really had time to talk about what the land plan is going to look like because of the shifts that we've had in the server recently. Communicating with your server and your allies is so, so, so important, so we don't accidentally have misclicks, so we don't accidentally have fighting among members, we don't have fighting among the servers. You know, you're not capturing land in somebody's server that you shouldn't have been doing this or doing that. There's so much importance based on the whole premise of communication, making sure that you're talking to everybody, maybe not everybody, at least talking to the other fellow leaders in the server is so, so important, because there's only 3 level 6s, and that doesn't change in season 1. There's still only 3 level 6s. The thing that does change is that how in season 0 you can have 6 lands, you can't do that in season 1. You can only have 4. So realizing this is going to help you and your alliance mates or your server mates. Communication is going to help everything, I promise. I know that I'm kind of rambling, but it's so important, at least in my opinion. Now, I already talked about it last point. I said to combine the two, and I'm going to, but I think everybody should have sort of an idea of what they want land-wise going into season 1, and you and your server should talk about it, right? Because we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 alliances around the capital. We have 12 alliances around the capital. That's super, super, super shocking. Nobody here. Trev holds down this side of the capital. But my point is, you and your server needed to come to an agreement about who should get the level 6s, who should get the level 5s, because it's not just based on power, right? I think I've had this discussion a million times with people across everything, right? It's not just based on power, alliance power, anything like that. It's also based on other factors, such as communication. How well is that alliance communicating with the rest of the server? It's also based on participation. Are they participating in Warzone duels? Are they actively and consistently doing this? Are they actively and consistently ranking in the top 3 for the wanted bosses, which are the not the wanted bosses, the like I don't even know, the mutants, the little monsters that attack the cap. I think they're called the mutants. Are they ranking in the top there? Are they actively, participating each week in the Warzone duel? Not actually just the fighting portion, but also leading up to it. Are they causing trouble? Are they doing this? Are they doing that? There are so many ways that your server kind of needs to think about who actually is deserving of the level 6s. Now, who is deserving of the level 6s, I cannot say for your server. I have no idea anybody in your server. I have no idea what's going on. All I can say is that you need to figure it out with your people, your other server mates, and just kind of come to an agreement. And I get that you're not going to be able to make everybody happy. And that's the unfortunate part of this game, is that that's just not always going to be the case. But doing your best to communicate and be open and honest about what you want or what you think is best for the server is important. But remember this, your alliance is super, super important. Building a brotherhood with them is super important. But do not forget your server, because your server is just as, if not more important than your alliance, because in order to succeed in this game, you need to work together. Now, finally, we'll go on to my last point, and this is kind of a one that could change as we go on, but making sure that you're keeping up with your tech here. And I will have tech part 2 out eventually. I'm hoping rather sooner rather than later, because I would like to get my special forces up to 80% when I actually have the time. But making sure that your tech, for not only personal tech, but also your alliance tech, is pretty important. Now, going into season 1, you're going to want to start to focus on your war a bit more, because it is just season 1 is all about attrition. It's all about fighting, everything related to fighting. Troop loss is huge. It's time consuming and it's tiring. And I'm not trying to sound like that guy, but it's just how it is, right? But understanding that your alliance tech tree is kind of important, and what alliance you're in, and if they've done it correctly up until this point, it's very important. If you have any questions about that, I'm sure that there's a billion guides on the internet about what you guys should be prioritizing in alliance techs. But going into season 1, it should be pretty much everything war. And if you guys want to take a screenshot or even like a little video of what we currently have, I'll show you exactly what we focused on: quick training, expert trainer, we focused on troop movement, we focused on rallied stuff, expert nurse, we focused on drill ground expansion, because that's super important. And other things that we're probably going to be doing a little bit of are probably going to be like rapid siege and stuff like that. We'll put a little bit more time in these final 2 weeks. That's kind of the last note. It's not like super overwhelmingly important, but all those little buffs do help, and they do add up over time, especially when it comes to season 1. Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Jelly here, and today I got a great video in store for you guys, especially for the people that have entered season 1. I've had quite a few comments and quite a few people ask me directly for a season 1 video, and well, we're gonna get into it today. So buckle up and enjoy. So first things first, if you are not already comfortable, or you don't know what season 1 is, I do have a video called Prepping for Season 1. I would probably watch that before you watch this. Now, that's to get you prepped to go into season 1. Once you're into season 1, there's actually a lot of differences between the off season and season 1. One of the main differences is obviously virus resistance. The whole point of season 1, or the whole premise of season 1, and what it's based on, is virus resistance. Now you'll see up here, if I click on this little mask, which is in the top left of my screen now that season 1 has started, this is my virus resistance. It's going to pop up or whatever if you have a shield, and it's also going to pop up next to season 1 weather. Now for me, it's a little over almost a week into season 1. I think we're like 5 days in, 4 days in, whatever the case may be. My virus resistance is already 4,850. Now, virus resistance, as I said, is already the premise of season 1. Now, virus resistance is going to allow you to do things that you may have done previously. Some core examples are you can't really rally Doom Elites without virus resistance. As you can see here, it says this is what's required in order to actually deal damage. Now, to clarify, you don't necessarily need 100%, but about 50% suffices. And that's not just with Doom Elites, it's also with zombies on the map. If you want to defeat a zombie, you gotta have virus resistance there. If you want to capture a land, you have to have virus resistance there. Essentially, you can't do anything in the game without virus resistance come Season 1. And obviously, the faster and higher you get your virus resistance, the better. Now, with that being said, there are quite a few ways that you can upgrade or get your virus resistance up. The main one being these buildings down here. As you can see, this building right here is called the Virus Research Institute. Now, I'm currently sitting on 1.5 million immune protein, and I'm also sitting on 1 million mutant crystals, with some in my inventory. Now, in order to upgrade this Virus Research Institute, you have to upgrade it using the vials. And in order to get the vials, you need to have the immune protein farms. Now again, this is all hand in hand and it goes together. But let's say, for example, you already have all those up and running and you're ready to upgrade this. It upgrades just like a normal building, and it takes up 7.5 hours to get to level 20 for me. And I'm going to go ahead and show you guys exactly what it looks like. It's relatively quick, relatively simple. As I said, I have 1.5 million immune protein, and I'm just going to upgrade this, and I'm going to wait for all my helps, and that's it. It's as simple as that. Now, as I said, in order to get the immune protein vials, or whatever these are called, I can't quite remember. Yeah, the immune protein vials, you're going to have these protein farms upgraded, because these are what makes your immune protein vials, okay? Now, in order to upgrade these to obviously have more coming out every hour, you need to have the crystals. And the crystals you can earn through literally just about anything. But your biggest earners of that are going to be the Season Battle Pass, which I do recommend buying if you have the money to spend. It is 20 bucks. It's going to help you do pretty much a whole lot of everything. And then there's other little things too, such as fighting Doom Elites. If you see here, for fighting zombies, you get first time rewards. Doom Elites, if you complete these, you get first time rewards for it. And then there's this great little thing, and I wish I didn't do it last night because I would love to show you guys, but there's a serum collection game, and it's kind of like Tetris, and you're supposed to do this, and every time that you complete this, you get a lot of these mutant crystals, which is just going to help you upgrade your protein farms. Now, another thing I do recommend buying, especially the second that it becomes available for you, is the weekly pass. Now, the positive thing about the weekly pass is that not only does it give you these extra mutant crystals, but it just gives you an extra protein farm in general. So you have 4 normally, but the season weekly pass gives you a 5th one. Now, what makes this so efficient is that you're essentially just earning 25% more protein on top of what you were previously earning. Now, you accrue this over multiple hours, just like every other kind of farm. Now, that's just kind of the core basics of what Season 1 is and how to get your virus resistance up. There are other ways, not to get your virus resistance up, but there are other ways to earn the mutant crystals and also the vials as well. Every time your alliance captures a stronghold, you get like first time capture rewards, and the first time capture rewards, if I can find it, are going to be right here. So you got about 80,000 of these crystals, mutant crystals, and 200 diamonds. So that's just another way to earn it. And not only that, but also that's just strongholds. You also get a lot when you capture these lands. Like soon we get level 2. It opens up in about 24 hours. We're going to be able to get 40,000 immune protein and 40,000 mutant crystals just from capturing that. Now, there are other tiny little various ways to earn it, such as, you know, being in the top of the leaderboards here, or going through and getting different goals done. Not just you, but also your alliance as a whole. There's a lot of things that you can do in order to get that. Now, that's pretty much covering the basics. There's not much else to talk about when it comes to virus resistance. That's just everything that you need to know. However, when navigating these tabs over here, if you click on the Season 1 tab, which is, you know, right there in the middle of your screen, essentially, you click on that and you click on Season 1, it goes over everything. Here are the rewards that you can earn for depending on how your alliance ranks along the season, right? Are you guys going to have 2 level 6s? Because if you do, you might be a queen piece, right? Also, it takes you to your profession tab, which I'm going to go over in just a little bit. There's a rules tab that goes over everything about the season, and if these aren't providing you with enough information, if you click this guides button, it takes you over to a website with a bunch of guides, and it is trustworthy. Also, if you click on your grouping here, it shows you exactly what servers you're going up against and who the sitting president of each server is. This helps just because it gets you prepared to know what you're facing in Season 1 once land conquering actually opens up within a few weeks. This will be a nice little idea to get ahead of the game to know exactly who you're facing. As I already kind of went over, there's this goals tab that every time you increase your virus resistance, and also your alliance captures X amount of strongholds, and when you capture X amount of strongholds in a server as well. Now that's just kind of the season 1 tab. There's not a whole lot over here. The leaderboard, we're way down here, but that's mainly because we're waiting to capture our next land today. And also, if you just click on this leaderboard down here in the bottom right, it also just takes you directly to the leaderboard. Now, as you go over to the season boost, you'll realize that Mason and Kimberly both have an increase to damage by 2 monsters by 5%, and also the pumpkin cauldron helps as well. Now, I don't think, unless you're going to buy the base skin to have the base skin, I don't think spending $400 on the pumpkin cauldron is worth it just for that plus 50 virus limit. My apologies. And also unlocking the virus surge base skill. I don't think it's worth $500 just for those two things. Now, you won't see this exclusive weapon battle pass because this is completely different, but I'm going to go over it really quickly. The exclusive weapon battle pass is a wonderful thing that seasons introduce, where each hero gets an exclusive weapon, and over time, every single one will eventually get theirs. Now, Kimberly is the first one to get it, and I do recommend, again, if you are spending money, that these exclusive weapons are going to be huge for not only you, but for your squad and for your alliance in general. I almost doubled my amount of damage done with tank squads against my code boss once I unlocked Kimberly's exclusive weapon. Now, don't fret, you can technically unlock the exclusive weapons after the season is over if you don't spend the money, but I do recommend buying these. It's like buying a hero, and it's just going to help you throughout the season. Now, one thing that's new to me that was never there originally, or maybe it was, maybe I just didn't notice, is a serum shop, or maybe I don't remember. But the serum shop is going to be a huge help for everybody across the board. Now, as you can see here, I already bought up all the XP, I bought up all the skill points, and the mutant crystals. And we're going to go over again the XP and the skill points in just a little bit. But as we already talked about, the mutant crystals were nice to help me get my protein farms leveled up. A couple of other little things is purge the polluted area. Essentially, this is just going over what level strongholds that you can capture and who's ranking first and who's ranking. Like, we've only captured level 4. Now, I know for a fact we could probably capture up to level 6, but we're just trying to take it slow here. Congrats to Kings and Queens, LDCX, and Crimson Night Stalkers. But going into City Clash, as we were kind of already talking about, is that every couple of days a new level city unlocks. Now, since we're only, well, I guess I can just show you guys on this little calendar back here, since we're at day 6 of the server, you'll see that we don't even have level 2 lands unlocked. We have level 4 strongholds, but we only have level 1 lands, boom, boom, and boom. We're still waiting on level 2s to unlock here. Now, while we're waiting for these level 2s to unlock, essentially what the idea is that we want to have lands connecting. Just like in Season 0 or the off-season, whatever you want to call it, your lands need to be touching in order to occupy the next land. Now, originally we had all across this board here, which is how we have that level 1, but since we moved on to level 2s, level 3s, and now a level 4 strongholds, we ended up dropping all of our level 1s, but we kept the cities, because the cities allow you to capture +1 stronghold. So your original limit, let's say, is 3. If you have 3 lands, it's going to allow you to capture 3 more strongholds, essentially doubling your limit. Now, one thing that's super important to remember, especially for my newbies to Season 1 and my leadership, and really anybody in general, and it's kind of a flaw that I wish would change, is that anybody can start the capture of the stronghold. Doesn't have to be an R4, doesn't have to be the R5, it can literally be anyone, R1 through R5. And it can definitely lead to issues. We've already had a couple instances, at least in our alliance, where we've accidentally started the rallies, or we've already started the capture of the stronghold when we weren't necessarily prepared for it. Or like last night, it was about 2 a.m. East Coast time in America. We do have a bunch of Koreans in our alliance, and one of them accidentally started capture of the stronghold. Now, again, it wasn't that big of a deal because we had enough people online to capture it. However, if most of your alliance or a majority of your alliance is American time zone and you started at, I don't know, 3 a.m., well, unfortunately, you're probably going to fail that capture or run out of time because there's just not enough people there to do it. Capturing land is pretty easy. Typically, there's going to be these little zombies surrounding it, like right here, level 27, 34. You just got to kill all these little zombies, a couple waves each. This one has 3, so I have to kill it 3 times. And then you would have to capture the actual stronghold. You'd have to rally on this boss just to beat it. Now, that's pretty much all about land capturing and what the city conquest is. So you can hold up to 4 cities. Right now we're holding 3, and so the second noon tomorrow, we'll drop one of our level 1s, probably that one over there, and we'll capture this level 2 and this level 2. And then immediately, once level 3 is unlocked, we'll grab a level 3, and so on and so forth. I think that's pretty much the most basic understanding of land I can give out without going into depth, because there is a lot of technicalities with land, and it's just a bit of annoying. It's a bit of an annoying mess, if you want me to be honest with you. I wish it was a little bit simpler and a little bit more calm, but we deal with what we deal with, right? Now I'm going to go ahead and interject here and say thank you all so much for all the support that you show to me. It's been fantastic. We hit 2,000 subscribers just a couple days ago, and we're already approaching 2,200. It's been fantastic to make content for you guys, and I do have some exciting announcements to make in the future, and we will definitely go over them a couple times. But what I will say to give you guys kind of a hint is expect more content. Maybe not this week, but expect more content in the future. If you guys have any questions or concerns or literally anything that you guys want me to make content on, please leave it in the comments below. And if you are enjoying my videos or my channel, go ahead and leave a like on this video and subscribe to the channel. They both do help out quite a bit. Now that's pretty much it. So back to the video. Okay, so now that we've kind of gone over the basics of what Season 1 is and how you can get better at it, or how you can get stronger, or even prepare for what's going to be happening with land, we'll jump into the other main portion that the season offers, or that the season introduces, because this becomes a permanent thing. As far as I'm aware, it becomes permanent. I can't remember if they ever take it away. I don't think so. I was just talking to somebody that's in Season 5, and they still have it. So we're going to go over professions and what they are and how they work. Now, professions are these great little things that are going to help you and your team grow, especially if you guys have the engineer status. Now, I'm currently a war leader because I do have T10s unlocked, and I can kind of make an entire in-depth video on to professions. If you guys wish, I can definitely do that. But I'm just going to kind of go over the basics of what each is and what you should pick if you're questioning yourself. Now, my rule of thumb is this. If you have T10s, or if you're incredibly close to tier 10 troops, go with war leader. If you're not even close, or maybe not even level 30, go with engineer. That's going to be your two options there, and eventually we get a third option, but it's not yet, so don't even be concerned with that. But I'll go over the war leader that I have currently, and I'll show you guys an example of what it is. Now, I'm level 19 in my profession, and I need 450,000 XP to get from level 19 to level 20. And every time you level up, you get a token. And now what this token does is it allows you to learn a skill. Now, as you can see here, this is what I've learned so far. I always do recommend learning these ones on the right. Now, as you can see here, this is what I've upgraded so far. Now, there is technically a better way to do this than what I have done. What I have done has been for me personally, and I always will say, upgrade for what you think you need or what you want. For me, I really wanted to have faster speeding troops because I find that to be incredibly useful. Bigger drill grounds, again, incredibly useful. I'm currently working, and I'm so close on getting to my 4th drill grounds, which is down here in Siege of Seas. I just need this five more of this and this single one. But troops is going to be a huge thing. As you can see, I'm full. It is fight day, and I will be fighting in a few hours, so I will be losing a lot of these troops. But Season 1 is all about the attrition of your troops. So for me, having those extra troops is going to be huge for me. But essentially, you can go over each and every one of these skills and learn what they are, and this is what you're going to want to upgrade, is again your choice. Now, in order to upgrade these, as I said, you need these learning tokens, and these learning tokens, as I already explained once, you get from leveling up here. Now, for example, I'm 200,000 short, and I only have 120,000 here, and I have 120 or 5,000 here. So I have 125,000 profession XP. Even if I use this, it still won't get me all up. Now, there's a billion ways, and everything that you do in the Season 1, or just anything that you do in general, will get you XP. Beat a new level Doom Elite, there you go, there's some XP. Defeat a zombie, boom, XP. Defeat a stronghold, boom, there's going to be XP. Everything gives you experience points for professions. The rainbow weather gives you an XP boost. I think it's like every 15 minutes. I can't quite remember. Every 15 minutes, it gives you a random amount of XP, and it's just overall pretty nice and helpful. So once you've gone through professions and maybe you've leveled up and you have quite a few tokens to use. So let's say you're a war leader, for example, because this is what I am. If you click on your skills up here, these are some of the skills that you may have unlocked. For me, unit mobilization I've unlocked. If I use this skill, I immediately get 50 highest level units. That's incredibly nice. This urgent care here, used to instantly heal all wounded units in the hospital not currently being treated, up to 1,000 units. So if my hospitals are completely filled and I'm only healing, let's say 4,000 units in my hospital, I can immediately get 1,000 units back. You would just click on the use button there. It's incredibly nice, it's incredibly helpful, and I promise it's going to be focusing on professions is going to be a huge help for you. Now, as I said with the season pass, not only are you going to earn the mutant crystals, but you're also going to earn a butt ton of profession XP, and this is just going to help you. And right here, profession skill reset book. If you think that you've messed up on your profession skills or on your tree, you can just use this profession skill reset book to help you start your tree, and then maybe you'll follow the proper order, or maybe something will benefit you differently in the future. It's kind of the same thing here, profession change certificate. This allows you to switch from engineer to war leader or from war leader to engineer. So if you accidentally selected one, do not fret, you can always switch. And you can switch your professions right down here by using that. If I were to click on this, I would just click use and it would switch me over. Now when you do that, as it says here, it resets and refunds all of your skill points. So I would still be level 19, I would just have 19 skill points that I'd be able to use. Now that's kind of the basic understanding of what professions are, and there's not really a whole lot of stuff to go into depth in. I can make a video in the future going over what each skill is and what you should be focusing on, or maybe what you should be skipping over if that's a content or a video that you guys would like to see. But for now, I'm not trying to overwhelm people with information. I'm just trying to give them all a basic understanding of what they should be doing, how they can be upgrading, and how to pretty much prepare for the middle or the end of season 1, because this early stage is just getting you an understanding. Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Jelly here with yet another video, and I just wanted to say thank you all so much for all the support you showed me. We're creeping up on 3,000 subscribers, and we will be there sooner rather than later, and that's pretty much all I got to say for that. Let's kind of just jump right into today's video, which is kind of just going to be a slew of things, and it's going to go over a lot of what's actually been happening this past week or so. And honestly, it's been really incredibly hectic and really busy, especially with the start of season 1. Season 1 has now been here for a few weeks, but we just finally opened up the cross server invasion. As you can see to my right, 77S, as you can see to my left, 77S, and as you can see again to the bottom right, 77S. We have been getting invaded and hit hard. My server is not one of the top tiers in our bracket. In fact, we're probably middle of the pack, maybe lower, so it's been kind of a hot spot for a lot of other alliances to come and invade, hoping to get and secure a level 6 land. And we're going to kind of go over exactly what some of that is today in this video. We're also going to go over a few other things such as exclusive weapons and what to expect throughout season 1 as you continue to move forward. So without further ado, let's jump straight into today's video. Okay, first things first, let's actually cover the exclusive weapon battle pass, the exclusive weapon in general, what it is, what it does, and why it'll benefit you to buy this. So let's kind of just start off right with, you're going to get 3 right off in season 1. You're going to get Kim's, which is the first week, DVA's, which is now, and Tesla's, which is the final one in 2 weeks after DVA's exclusive weapon drops. Now, exclusive weapons are bought the exact same way that hero battle passes are bought in the preseason or season 0, whatever you want to call it, refer to it as, and it's the exact same thing. It costs 20 bucks to buy, and you get shards. These are called the exclusive weapon battle pass, or the exclusive weapon shards, which you use to unlock it, and you also get some nice honor badges and some normal exclusive shards for that hero anyway. So as I said, it's going to be over here in hot deals in this top right tab. If you're up here, it's going to be right below the shop. Click on hot deals, and it should be the first one, the second that they drop. And as I said, it does cost about 20 bucks or 2,000 gold bricks. It's definitely a great value, great purchase, and in my opinion, it's one of the best values that this game actually has to offer. Late game, early game, mid game, doesn't matter. In my opinion, this is one of the best values that they offer at all. So after you buy it, you might be curious about how to unlock it, what it does. You want to know why you're buying this. So let me give you guys kind of a quick tour or a quick little guide about what it is. So if you click on your heroes, after unlocking the exclusive weapon, you're going to see that your hero is going to have a new tab in the bottom. So since we're going over DVAs, it'll be right here. And as you can see in the bottom right, exclusive weapon is exactly the tab that we're looking for. If you click on that, it's going to show you a screen that has yet to actually be unlocked, which should say upgrade or unlock for 50 of these DVA weapon shards, or exclusive weapon shards. It's going to cost 50, which is exactly how much you get for buying just the base battle pass, and you continue to get more as you go on, but it takes 20 to upgrade each level. Now, after just upgrading or unlocking the exclusive weapon, you're going to get all these base stat increases: hero HP, hero attack, hero defense. Those 3 are the main ones, and as you level up, this resistance to all damage types is going to go, and the max skill level raise too is also going to go up. Now you can use all these universals to just completely unlock it. So if you already missed or have plan on missing, or you don't have the money to buy the exclusive weapons, do not be afraid. You can get these exclusive shards to unlock these weapons throughout the season for free, and also in the black market when that comes around at the end of season 1. But essentially this is just like having a hero. You use shards to unlock it or upgrade it, and then once it's there, every time you upgrade it, it's going to increase these base stats, and it's just going to make the hero better overall. Many times the exclusive weapon will actually give that hero a significant boost over others. So for example, before season 1, my lineup had DVA as my worst hero in my air squad. However, the exclusive weapon already bumps her up to top 2, only behind Carly still, in my opinion. Now, you do get buffs and you do get exclusive little variations of what the weapon's going to do as you continue to level it up. Since I don't actually have any of them leveled up, I don't really want to go over it, but you can unlock by upgrading to level 30, unlock by upgrading to level 20, and unlock by upgrading to level 10. If you want to take the time to go ahead and read through what these do and how it's going to help you, you're more than welcome to take your time. Just go ahead and pause the video on the one that you want to read, and then this is it. And we're going to be moving on to the next portion of today's video, which the next portion is actually going to be based on what season 1 looks like when cross server invasions actually start taking place, what happens, how it works, and what you should know. So before we even do anything regarding this, I just want to give a huge shout out to everybody in LDCX, but the 3 main people being Getty, Owner, and King Kuso. You 3 have been absolutely fantastic. I love each and every single one of you guys. Continue to keep up the great work. I have so much respect for you and so much appreciation. All of Trev loves you guys, and yeah, just thank you all so much. If you're watching this video, just know that you have all of my love. So essentially what this means is that obviously when season 1 opens up, you guys get land, and server is trying to figure out who's getting level 6s or who's getting level 10s, stuff like that. But once the cross server stuff opens up, which I would go further into this, but I kind of already did in my second season 1 video, not how to prepare, but the basics of season 1. Once this portion of season 1 actually unlocks, you're going to notice how other alliances from other servers are here. So 1792 MIV is actually here, and they captured up to a level 8. Up here at the top right above Trevland, we have a wonderful alliance called 777S that has invaded us, and they have successfully captured 2 of our strongholds all the way down, and they're actually threatening our territory as we speak. Obviously, we do not want to lose our territory, so we're going to do our best to defend it, but this is where things get tricky. So as you already know, you can successfully seize land in other servers, or they can seize land in yours. But in order to do so, you have to set up these wonderful things called outposts. Now, if you're on the outside of the map, they'll pop up as this little gold thing here. And if they're active, it's going to look like that. It's going to have a red tag above it, and it's going to have like a little like wings. And if it's destroyed, it's going to be like a broken house. Obviously, if it's destroyed, that's a good thing, because you do not want other alliances in your server successfully taking your lands. If it's active, that's kind of where we have an issue. So I'm going to give you guys an example of one of each. So Swole's down here is active because we never destroyed it after they were here. They are an ally to server 1789, and so they're getting some small little lands that we agreed to give them. As you can see here, they're right there. But this is what an active outpost looks like, one that hasn't been destroyed yet. It's got this little health bar here, and you place it inside of a strongholds area. So for example, since Swole placed it here inside this square, they have to take this stronghold when they come over to our server. Same thing here with LGC, they had to take this square. Same thing over here with MIV, they also had to take this square. Now, what the point of an outpost is that you have to keep it up and running. So right over here, we'll go back to Swole. You have to keep this outpost alive with a health bar for the 15 minutes or so that it takes to capture a stronghold. So for example, if Swole were to come back here and they weren't in the server at all, and they built this outpost here, somebody's teleporting in. It's kind of funny how that works. A Swole player is teleporting in. If they're here, they're teleport over to the server. They want to not only protect their outposts here, but they're also going to want to try to seize this level 2 stronghold. And it's pretty instant. So the second that they start building this, it's going to start a timer. And then once that shield drops, this is going to become unprotected. And once it's unprotected, they can start to try to capture the stronghold. And it takes about 15 minutes or so to capture the stronghold. So you want to try to destroy this before that 15 minutes is up, and they want to try to keep that up for that 15 minutes until they have successfully captured this stronghold. So now that you kind of have an understanding about what you have to do, this is going to be the exact same thing. So I just gave you an example of what it's like to try to defend your server against it. Now, if you click over here on the Season 1 tab, it's going to take you to this beautiful image that we've seen plenty of times. but it's going to have this new tab called Warzone Expedition. If you click on Warzone Expedition, it's going to bring you to this page here, and it should, if you're just now getting into this cross server, it should only have one of these options available. Only R4s and R5s can actually do anything with this screen, so leave it to them to decide. But for everybody that's interested, so since we have now two different alliances or two different servers that we can invade, if I were to click select here, it would bring me to this screen and it would tell me to select a server that we want to set our second outpost to. So obviously we wouldn't do 1789 because we're 1789, and we wouldn't do 1792 because that's where our first outpost is. Well, let's say, for example, this is your first time doing it and you don't have any other outposts set up. You would try to select a server that you know you can guarantee a victory against. So, for example, if let's say 1784 was just not a strong server, we would probably want to target them. But we decided to go 1792, even though it was definitely a challenge. So then the same thing would happen there that I kind of already talked about when it came to defensive positions. The exact same thing would happen with offensive, except you would be the one trying to defend not only the outpost, but also the stronghold itself. You and your entire alliance would go over, you would support this, you would defend this, and then on top of that, you would also do the exact same thing for the stronghold here. One thing I didn't mention already that I'm definitely going to now is that anybody and everybody not in your alliance can destroy your outpost. Your own server can go in and destroy the outpost. An opponent server can go in and destroy the outpost. Anybody and everybody can destroy the outpost. The only people that can protect the outpost are your alliance and your alliance only. That is very, very, very important to know. And that's why making an outpost can be so tricky, because everybody can call on their allies, their own server, and they can just destroy outposts in minutes sometimes. So make sure that you are communicating with your alliance and you have time set up, or that you guys all are under the impression of exactly what's going to happen, because your alliance showing up is what is most important to successfully building an outpost and successfully taking other land and other servers. Now, going back to the Warzone Expedition screen, as you do your first one, if you successfully go there, which I'll go and show you guys, we did successfully build an outpost. It is currently burned down, but we do own 3 lands here. Now, I've already spoken with 1792. We don't really plan on going much further than what we already have. We're just kind of here to have some free points. They're not very much points, but you know what? This 40,000, 50,000 influence points is better than nothing. Now that we have these 3 level strongholds, if we were really trying to go for the kill shot, we would continue to move towards the center of the map. But as I said, we don't really plan on it with 1792. We just plan on being here and hanging out with them, pretty much just calling them our friends. So most worst thing that we'll do is we'll actually move up to have 3 level 4 strongholds, and then we'll drop this level 2 and level 3. But again, you would want to move in and move forward. Let's kind of backtrack a little bit. If we go to this outpost that Trev set up, which is in this level 2 land, after we successfully managed to defend the outpost and capture a stronghold in that 15 to 20 minute time frame, after that you can let the outpost go. The outpost, after you successfully captured your first land, is pretty much useless and you won't come back to unless you get completely kicked out of the server. So for example, after the level 2, we said we want to capture the level 3, so we just went on and captured the level 3, and you follow basic land rules immediately after the whole outpost situation has been figured out. So essentially what that means is after your outpost has helped you capture your first stronghold, you're not ever going to go back to that outpost. You don't need to. There's no point. Your alliance doesn't need to go back to it again unless you get completely kicked out of the server, which is if somebody takes all of your strongholds simultaneously. Now, a neat little trick that you guys can do to help your own alliance protect their land, especially if you're facing an alliance that you know is twice your strength or is definitely going to beat you in a battle one-on-one, is that if you plan it properly, you should be able to drop and re-obtain your land, because each land has a protection status after capturing. So up here, this level 8 stronghold currently has a protection status of a day and 10 hours. What that means is that in about a day and 9 hours, we would drop that land and then immediately recapture it afterwards, so that this protection stage would go all the way back and restart from new. The only caveat to that is that you and your alliance only get 2 land captures every day. Capturing your own stronghold after dropping it does count as a land capture or a land seize, a land conquer, whatever you want to call it. And so that automatically takes care of 1. And if you're going to do that twice, that gets rid of both of your land captures for the day, and you're stuck not capturing a single other piece of land for the rest of the day. Now, kind of an important thing to know about once cross server opens up and you can actively fight other servers and other alliances, what this means is that you guys can just actively fight for each other's land. You cannot actually attack each other's bases. You can still attack each other's tiles. Secondly, if you guys are in the mud, mud. So any of these muds surrounding the city, any of the mud surrounding the capital, pretty much any sort of mud, anybody can still attack you there if you're in the mud. And obviously on fight day, everybody is able to come to your server and mess with you and your alliance. So just make sure that on fight day, it is very important that you guys are all bubbling. It's super, super, super important that you guys are not losing unnecessary troops, especially when it comes to land capture days. Having troops for that is so important. Kind of the last thing I'm going to go over today, because I think that's most of what actually happens once this opens up. I'm going to kind of say the last thing is that you can go up to 4 servers by the end of this event, where you can be invading 4 other servers along with your own. So 5 total servers you could hold land in. Do not get overzealous. Do not get overconfident, because if you get too overconfident and you're trying to take too much land in too many servers and your alliance cannot handle that, you're just going to end up hurting yourself in the long haul, and you're going to end up losing more land than you can keep up with. And that's just going to help you actually lose land in the future, because you're going to lose all of your troops. You can only do 2 captures a day. You're not going to be able to fight back, and it's just going to ultimately kill you. So do not get overzealous. I would also give you one little tidbit, and that would be, if you are in leadership position, or even if you're not, I would start working on, if you haven't already, which you should have a long time ago, I would start working on your cross-server alliances and start working with other people to secure land without fighting. What this means is, yes, obviously everybody wants to have multiple level 6s because they do want the highest level rewards, but that doesn't necessarily mean that's what's best for you. Capturing 1 or 2 extra cities but losing an extra, 250,000 troops among your entire alliance just does not even out. So make sure that it's best for you to actually have a plan of action about what your plan, or what you guys are going to do as an alliance. Ultimately, I think that's pretty much going to cover everything about today's video.
Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Jelly here, and I just wanted to start off today's video with a bang and just kind of say that it's been 2 weeks since I uploaded. I know. Now, there is a reason for that, because last week was the final week of Season 1, which I like to call Hell Week, and Hell Week was exactly as described. It was hell. Just about surviving, pretty much. It's all I could do was try to survive, and we did. We ended up winning this, finalizing the season. Our alliance ended up finalizing in Queen Rewards, which is fantastic. And obviously, we didn't do it alone. We had a lot of help from allies. We had a lot of help from our servers. So I just wanted to give a huge shout out to everybody that helped us, everybody across the board. I would try to name names, I would try to name alliances, but there's just so many. Huge props to CX and S for allowing us to have a 6, and also to Old for allowing us to have a 6. Without either one of those alliances, nothing would be possible when it came to that. LDCX also for allowing us to be on your server. Another huge, opportunity. Thank you all so much. And then to our own server, you guys killed it. I know that obviously things weren't ideal, we finished 6th in Warzone influence. Now, I know that things aren't perfect, and unfortunately we just don't have any server whales, and that really kills it a lot of the time. But we did win 2 of our 3 Warzone duels, which is a huge buff, and for us that's a big deal. So congrats to 1789, congrats to everybody else included in our bracket. And yeah, I'm glad season 1's over. Now it's just about getting prepped for season 2 and Black Market in a week. Super excited. I'll have a video out about that. But essentially today's video, I just kind of want to go over what the rewards look like, what you should be spending your points on, or how you should be spending it. I do have a great graphic. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pull it up for you guys right here on screen. But first things first, I have to clarify one thing. Not everybody got the same rewards, right? So your season merit medals are so reliant on 2 things. Firstly, how did your alliance rank? And secondly, did you get the 150 points from Warzone Duel these past 3 weeks? So essentially, these rewards are given out based on how alliances do with land, how they do in Warzone Duel, how do they do conquering land, how do they do defending their land, all that stuff. And obviously the lowest tier is down here. Pretty much anybody can get this, right? Literally everybody should be able to get this. So it's a guaranteed 300 season merit medals for the leader, and a guaranteed 250. And if you participated in the Warzone duels, you have at minimum 400 of these season merit medals. So you're going to help yourself out quite a bit there, regardless of the size of your alliance. And then obviously it goes all the way up to King Rewards, but there is only 1 King Rewards per Warzone duel. So this is kind of a different deal all by itself. And just a heads up, I am dealing with some sort of infection in my eye. I need to go to the doctors to get it checked out, but I am dealing with that. So I'm not seeing the best right now, and I'm gonna go to the doctors as soon as I'm done recording and all this off topic. But yeah, you can get all the way up to like king rewards. It's very unlikely you'll get king rewards, but king rewards, I don't even remember what these are called. This is just tier 2 rewards. This is tier 3. This is tier S, right? Like this isn't even tier 1 because only one alliance can get them. So, I mean, regardless, you're pretty much guaranteed if you participate in Warzone duels, regardless of where your alliance, at minimum 400 season merit medals. Now, straight up, if you don't have 400 season merit medals, there's probably a reason for that. You probably just don't play as hard, or you're not as active as you need to be, or any of that. Second thing I kind of want to just discuss when it comes to those season rewards. So you as a leader are in charge of assigning who gets what rewards, who gets, you know, should they get this tactician award, should they get the core member, elite, or valued. Now there's a lot that goes into it, and I need to be completely honest and completely transparent with you guys. This should not be given out based solely on power. The person that spends the most money should not be guaranteed the tactician award, if that makes sense. A lot more goes into it, right? Like 2 of my tactician rewards went to 2 of my R4s that have helped me plan land, that have helped me, you know, pretty much get rules into place, help me keep track of the alliance, that help me keep track of who's doing what, how our metrics performing, you know. Like we try to run like a pretty good ship here where we're keeping track of things. That way, if something goes wrong, we can pinpoint exactly what happened or anything like that. So 2 of my R4s instantly got it, and they're not the most powerful players. They're not. I mean, the one R4 I don't even know has T10s yet. Either way, they both deserved it very much so, and I want to give a shout out to them if they're listening to this. AB and Cotton, you guys have been fantastic. I appreciate you guys so much for your work. Now, I'm only saying this because there's really only 2 people that can allot rewards. It's your butler or your R5. If you feel slighted on rewards, I get it. We've all been there, right? Like, we've all felt like we've deserved better or all this stuff. But I'm going to go over, you know, pretty much what the difference is, right? So let's go between the bottom 2 tiers. The biggest difference between the bottom 2 tiers is firstly the alliance contribution points, and secondly the 50 season merit medals. Now, 50 season merit medals, yeah, it's, you know, 50 medals that you wish that you had, but like everything else is really just not any different. It's the same amount of chests, it's the same amount of tickets. The only difference is the merit medals, the season or alliance contribution points, and 5,000 honor points. So if that's make or break, and that's going to be the difference between you staying or leaving in your alliance, I don't know, you know, how else to really go about saying, like, it's not a huge deal. Like, even the difference between the valued member and the tactician reward, it's one difference God of Judgment. Now, granted, that is kind of a big deal, but everything else, again, is like relatively the same. I mean, the chests are all the same. It's an extra 5k honor points. It's the exact same everything across the board. So if you getting top tier rewards is the difference between making or breaking your time in your alliance, even though you've spent X amount of time there, honestly, probably better off leaving. It should not be a make or break between you staying or going, whether you get tier 1 rewards or tier 4 rewards. They're all very small difference. Very small difference. The biggest difference being the difference in how many God of Judgments you get. That's it. I don't think that anybody should be throwing a fit about it. I think you should just be okay. I get certain circumstances where it might feel like this or might feel like that, but I promise it's not that big of a deal. But regardless, I'm like 5 minutes into this video or 6 minutes into this video, and I haven't even gone over the main portion of this video. Now, the season merit medals are used in the season store. Now, the season store is like kind of where you go to find the diamond store, VIP store. I always just go through VIP. I click on VIP, and then I click the little shopping cart up here. And you go through all these tabs up here about which ones you're going to go to. The season store is the one that you use your season merit medals on. Now, for me, what I personally like is that I have this great graphic that essentially goes over what's good and what's bad about everything here. Now, I'm going to put the graphic up, but I'm also just going to sit here and tell you, do not buy any of these things. Do not buy the Season 1 skill point. Do not buy the Profession Change certificate. Do not buy the Profession skill reset book. Do not buy the You Are Hero badge. Those 4 right off the rip, do not buy. Do not. So now that leaves you with 5 things. The Dominant Sanctuary, Gear Blueprint, the God of Judgment, Throne of Blood, and the Sandstorm Master avatar frame. So, this is kind of where the rankings go for this. And I have to be completely transparent that a lot of what I'm talking about comes from a very low spending to free to play perspective. I'm not trying to tell you what to spend if you know, or what to buy if you're spending $1,000 a week. You know what I mean? Like, There's kind of a difference here. If you're heavy spending, gear blueprints are a lot easier for you to get than the average player. Regardless, the two best things that you can buy here are going to be the gear blueprints or the God of Judgment, in my opinion. Now, when it comes to the gear blueprints, a lot of people are, and this is kind of a debate I've already had with a few people, they're like, well, you know, the God of Judgment, the thing that makes God of Judgment so good is the increased march size. Yes, completely agree. However, for low spenders, is 20 more troops more valuable than maybe a mythical gun? I don't know. And to be completely honest with you guys, I don't think so. Like, I think from the average player's perspective, that mythical gun is going to be more important than God of Judgment. I think it's really a toss-up between those two. But what I would recommend, at least, let's say you get, I think, tier 3 rewards in the season, which is 700 or 800. Sorry. It's say you get tier 3 rewards, it's 800 plus you have your 150 from Warzone Duel. You get 1,050 medals or 950 medals. What I personally would sit here and tell you what to do is I would tell you to buy out all of the God of Judgment, and then I would also tell you to buy out the Throne of Blood. So buying out the God of Judgment costs 400. Buying out the Throne of Blood costs 200. That's 600. That leaves you with 350 if you ended up with tier 4 rewards. Save those 350. That is my recommendation. Or buy the Sandstorm Master. I would tell you to buy out Throne of Blood, buy out Throne of Blood, buy out God of Judgment, and buy out the Sandstorm Master. I think that those three things being combined is great, especially when you go into Season 2 and the store refreshes and you get more season merit medals. Now, this is kind of a graphic that I threw together, and I need to be completely transparent when I say that there is things that are worse than others in the really bad category. Like, there's just no reason for you to buy the UR badge ever. These three I can kind of understand if, like, for example, you didn't buy the season pass and you need these for some reason. I don't know why you would do it. I just tell you not to do it. It's a lot more understandable if you buy those bottom three versus the actual bottom. Now again, when I make this graphic, this is in terms of a completely free to play player. In my personal opinion, if you could buy all 10 the blueprints, I would tell you to buy all 10 blueprints, get a mythic gun. You know, they're worth about 30 bucks a pop in terms of pure value. Mythic blueprints are about $30 a pop. Now, these four down here are not in any particular order. I'm going to put these two in a tier above the other two, right? I think the decos are actually S tier, but it's complicated. These decos are pretty middle of the pack decos, except for the God of Judgment, which has that increased march size. And again, I think that that's very important. But if you're a small player that may not even have T10s yet, that increased march size means absolutely nothing, because you're still going to get pummeled by people that are bigger than you. You're just going to lose more troops. I know that sounds weird, and you know, people want increased morale and whatnot. Yeah, that does help, but it's just also more troops that are going to get killed, because it doesn't matter how many troops you have, you're still not going to win those bigger fights where you're trying to punch up, versus a gun might actually allow you to punch up. So I would tell you to buy out God of Judgment before you buy out Throne of Blood, because they're the exact same thing except for the march size. And then after that, these are not in any order, but I would actually put the frame in front of the pyramid. So the pyramid is kind of a complicated thing, because when it comes to the pyramid, for me, I think this is a very I get it, right? I get everybody wants a base skin, right? Everybody wants a base skin. Everybody wants to be included in a base skin. Everybody wants to have something pretty. However, I promise you that the pyramid, like right here, East, completely perfectly fine with buying the pyramid. I don't think it's the worst thing that you can buy. I don't think it's the best, but I don't think it's the worst either. Very pretty looking base, and if you're, you know, lower spending or free to play completely, you may feel like you want to buy a base skin. Now, the pyramid, in my opinion, is the worst one that comes out in the season store. If you wanted to wait till season 2, I think it's the Doomsday Castle that comes out in season 2 as the base skin. I think it's a better base skin because you don't have to have it equipped for the buffs. But again, free-to-play players aren't caring about whether you have it in your stock or equipped, because they're going to have it equipped. Yeah, if you're going to spend all of your points on the pyramid, perfectly fine. I'm not mad at it. Everybody has their personal preference. Got a couple of people using the Doomsday Castle already. I love that. We got a few pyramids I didn't even notice over here. Lost God Plan. But yeah, if you want to buy the pyramid, completely okay with it. It is yours at the end of the day to spend how you wish. That 3%, I think, attack buff is what you get from it. Not bad at all. Not too shabby. Oh, sorry, 5% attack for heroes. Not bad at all. I think that's a pretty good buff, especially if you're not already owning base skin. I think it's perfectly fine to buy that. Again, of the best things to buy, not the best, but not the worst either. So again, my personal preference would be to tell you that if you're a very low spending free to spend player, or free to spend. Free to play, low spending player. Buy the gear blueprints if you have enough to get a mythic weapon. If you manage to get 1,000 of these season merit medals, then yes, buy the 10 gear blueprints, call it a day, be happy. Or the base skin if you want, I don't care, your choice. But if you decide, or you didn't hit that 1,000 mark and you can't get a guaranteed mythic weapon from gear blueprints, I would tell you to probably do the God of Judgment, Throne of Blood, and the border, because it gets you a 3% defense increase to all of your heroes. That's really, really good. I would try to tell you to buy all these out, all the Throne of Blood out, and then buy that out as well. That would be my recommendation to you guys. So first things first, gear blueprint right up on top. Second thing, God of Judgment. Third thing, Throne of Blood. Fourth thing, the avatar frame. And then fifth and finally, the base skin. That is essentially the breakdown, the best way I can break it down for you guys. I'm trying to go a little bit more in depth this time around because when it comes to it, I know a lot of people are very scared to spend it, and you could also save it if you want, right? Season 2 store comes out with a better base skin. You could 100% save it if you wish. Here's what the deco does do for you. I was just having a conversation with somebody last night that's at like 55 million decoration power already, and it's insane because like I'm at 10 million. Thought that was pretty good, but no, not even close. But here's what this does, and the Throne of Blood does the exact same buffs across the board, except March size is not there. So they're not bad decos. I've seen better. I've also seen worse. I think it's a good idea to invest in decos, especially for people that are spending money. My heavier spenders, I would tell you to buy all the deco out immediately, because this is the only way for you to get those decos in particular. But I think that's going to pretty much wrap up today's video. Not super long, but I just wanted to go over that with you guys, let you guys know what you should be purchasing, what you should not be purchasing, what to avoid, and what not to avoid. If you guys do want to save your season stuff for season 2, completely fine, because there's a couple cool bases that come out, particularly the Doomsday Castle becomes a permanent skin. I can't remember which season that is in. Somebody will tell me in the comments below. Congratulations all of you on surviving season 1. That is a huge deal. If you're still playing after season 1, congrats, you're in that 5% of Lastwar players that make it through. So thank you all so much for watching. If you do enjoy the content, please leave a subscribe on the channel. It does help me out quite a bit. Lets me know that you're enjoying the content. Like the video down below and comment, what did you buy with your season merit medals? All right, peace out.